Mm. Hi, my name is Dan Levitt. I'm so excited to be here to talk about something I'm so passionate about. And I'm equally passionate about the reason why I'm talking. It's because of Safe Care BC's Hearts and Hands Conference presented by TD. We're so glad to be back in person. I'll be speaking in Kelowna, and I'm thrilled to be there. And we're going to spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about something that you should really be caring about. We should all be caring about, and that is aging. You know what the secret to a long and healthy life is? It's pretty simple. The secret is that when you go to bed tonight and when you wake up in the morning, you will be 1 day older. And then 365 days later, you'll be a year older. And that's how it works. That's the science of aging, is that every day we get that much older. And from my point of view as a gerontologist, we become our better selves. We become our future selves. And our whole life is built around getting towards that better spot. That perhaps when we're 90, we might be happier and more enjoying life more than we did at 9. So we're going to spend the next little while talking about that. And at the session in Kelowna, we'll spend even more time talking about it. So we have 3 objectives that we're going to talk about today. One is, what is ageism? How it affects us and why we need to fix it. That's the second thing, is how can we combat ageism? And we'll also talk about healthy aging. Are you ready? Here we go. So the first question I want to ask you is, how old do you feel? Now, think about it. You've probably come up with a number in your mind, and that may be based on the year you were born. It may be simply how you feel about things. You might hear people say things to you like, you are 40, but you look like you're 30. And by the way, that is a degree, it's an example of ageism, is that someone says she looks good for her age. Well, she's probably always looked good for her age. Another example of ageism would be you can't teach an old dog new tricks. In fact, older people can learn new things. Hence, the people that you care for where you work, they can learn new things. Another example of ageism is you shouldn't be driving behind an old person because they're the reasons why they cause all the accidents. That's ageist to think that all the accidents are caused by old people. In fact, younger people cause more accidents than older people. There is all sorts of other examples of ageism, but our job is to combat them and to prevent them. Now, why do we even think this way? If you remember when you were growing up, one of the first movies that you might have seen was a movie called The Wizard of Oz. And if you remember the way that the main character, Dorothy, describes an old person is evil and wicked and old as well as ugly. So that's how she describes the Wicked Witch of the West. So we have this idea that old is bad and ugly. Well, in fact, in 1969, so 53 years ago, a gerontologist by the last name of Butler, he coined the term ageism because where he lived, they wanted to build a community for older people, the kinds of places that we work in now. And people didn't want that in their backyard, the NIMBYism thing, right? So he looked at racism, at sexism, at all those other isms, and decided that there's an ism called ageism, and it's real. It's based on our stereotypes, how we believe people to be. It's our prejudices. It affects our attitudes towards older people. And it's indirect and direct discrimination against older persons. Now, when you look in the mirror, I asked you earlier on, how old do you feel? Look in the mirror, and most of us look at ourselves as a certain age where we felt really good about ourselves. That might be a different age than you are right now. I know if you look at yourself in the mirror and it scares you a little bit, you might have something called gerontophobia. Gerontophobia is the fear of growing old, hence that scary feeling that you get when you look at yourself in the mirror. And it's also the fear of old people. Now, if you're working in long-term care, like many people are from this conference, that wouldn't be a good place for you to work if you're actually afraid of people who are old, gerontophobia. So we have to embrace aging. That's the combating gerontophobia and ageism. Now, ageism is all around us. You don't have to go too far to find it. If you simply go to buy cards for someone's birthday, especially those big milestone birthdays, you'll see those cards. And those cards are clearly ageist. Look at those cards. They'll say, you look great for your age, but you've always looked good for your age. There might be one that's happy birthday. I had no idea how old you are. And it doesn't matter. Aging is mandatory. Getting old is optional. It means having an attitude that's different, perhaps. You're not too old, and it's not too late. Aging gratefully. So another year older, wiser, and more grateful. So think of those birthday cards that are truly discriminatory, and perhaps don't buy them. Or better yet, if you have time, send a note to the card maker and said, please stop making these cards. Now, you might notice on my face and maybe some other people's faces, you'll see some wrinkles here. You'll see those things over here. We call them crow's feet. You might have under your eyes some wrinkles, some upper lips. So there's an actress named Justine Bateman. She was in a TV show in the 80s called Family Ties. You might remember her. Her character was Mallory Keaton. Her brother was played by Michael J. Fox. And the wonderful thing about her is that she just published a book called Face, where she talks about the pressure on women to look a certain way. And what she's done is she says, you know what? If you don't want to hire me in Hollywood for the way I look, that's fine with me. But she's not going to go under the knife and have Botox or have her face, tightened, a facelift. She's proud of the way she looks. And I believe we should be celebrating our age. If you wanted to embrace those beauty products to make you look a certain way, by all means, feel free to do it. Some of us are simply proud of our hair color. I certainly am. I've earned it. Now, here's a question for you. If it was your 80th birthday, what would you do? If someone asked you, I'm celebrating my 80th birthday, how should I do it? There's three options I'm going to give you. So you could either A, throw a huge party to celebrate reaching that great milestone. B, have a few friends over on the condition that nobody mentions your age. Or 3, ignore the whole thing because I hate the thought of getting older. Well, you know what Paul McCartney's done? Paul McCartney turned 80 this year. And Paul McCartney, he threw a huge party to celebrate reaching that great milestone. I believe we should be embracing aging and celebrating it. By the way, whenever you go to a store next, you see all those beauty products for aging, so for anti-aging, ask them, say, hey, I want to look older. See what they say. You'll probably get a good smile. And look at clothing. There's a whole narrative around you should only dress your age. Well, what is your age? What does it look like? Should an 80-year-old be dressing different than an 18-year-old? Heck, my daughter and I go clothing shopping to the same store, and I will always dress like this. And I think I dressed like this when I was 20, when I had my first job. I'll dress like this the rest of my life. If you want to have fun with some of this stuff, go online on Facebook. Go look up a woman named Baddie Winkle. Baddie Winkle has millions of followers. She's pushing 100, and she makes lots of money online because of her age. She's flaunting her age, and she's proud of it. And by the way, one of our fears of aging is that old people are depressed. Well, that's nonsense. There actually are studies where it shows that you start off at way up here being happy when you're a kid, and as you go down to middle age, you kind of go down here, kind of where a lot of us are in middle age. And then when you kind of at some point get your white picket fence and all your ducks in a row and things are kind of going better, you're getting close to retirement, your kids are maybe out of the house, you start being happier and happier and happier until the end. You kind of like this. So there's this U-shaped thing with happiness. So people at younger age and older age are happier. Perhaps that's why grandparents and grandchildren get along so well. We should be celebrating healthcare workers so much as we did during the pandemic. We need to continue to do that to show the value that you have as healthcare workers. We should be celebrating you. And that's part of ageism, is that we don't value younger people enough who are caring for older people in care. I want to just end with encouraging you in a couple of ways. In terms of movement, the number one thing you can do to live a long and healthy life, to combat ageism, to combat all the things that are going on right now around the pressure we have to look young and behave young, is to simply keep moving. The key to a long and healthy life is mobility. Find a way of getting out to walk. Simply, it's all you have to do. If you want to do other kinds of fitness, running, whatever you want to do, find ways of doing that. So keep on moving. Get lots of good sleep, quality sleep. Spend time with people that you like and care about and get that community going. And of course, watch what you eat. Sure, we all enjoy chocolate and some sweet things once in a while, but try to find the healthy stuff. Try to eat fruits and vegetables, and try to surround yourself with all those things that will help you live a long and healthy life. And try to, if possible, to age in your community, age in that place where you have friends and family and where people know you. So that's what I want to talk about today. It's so great to be with you. This has been a fun 11 minutes for me. I hope you enjoyed this, and feel free to reach out to me. I'm Dan Levitt. I'm the CEO of Kin Village, and you can reach me anytime at dlevitt@kinvillage.org. I'd love to hear from you and to connect with you. And until we see each other next time, happy aging. Bye.